take my car. Some of those were real action scenes from real fixed cameras in real certain situations. Certain places in this country where they're real dangerous people to drive, protection driving. You can see some of the expressions, facial expressions on people's faces as they were being hauled off to jail. Like the one young man, he was kind of looking back like that as he was being hauled off to jail, if you remember in the video. Saw a lot of guilt, an expression of guilt, regret in his face because of what he did. Because he wasn't a bad person, he just made a bad choice. He made a bad decision with his life at that point in time. And things go through people's heads constantly when they have to go through situations like that, when they have to go to jail or prison for something they did because they didn't mean to do it. He was a bad guy. He didn't need to kill somebody that day. He just made a bad decision. Who am I going to share a jail cell with? Someone who might be a rapist, someone who might be a true murderer, someone who tried to kill somebody. Those things go through people's heads. I go to prisons and I see kids being hauled into jail. You got hauled into jail if they killed somebody in an accident, whether it's texting, driving, or drinking, right? When it's drinking and driving, they're supposed to drink because they're drunk. They're not aware of their surroundings. They don't remember anything. I see the cop walk up to them and ask them 3 or 4 times why they're there. Tell them 3 or 4 times why they're there. They're asking why they're there because they can't remember because they're intoxicated. They're being detoxed. And they're drunk, they're woozy, they're nauseous, they're laughing. Until about 3 or 4 hours later, when it starts to set in, they're told again why they're there. They keep asking where's their mom and dad, where's their car? And the cops tell them you didn't kill somebody in an accident. That's real. I've seen that. And they start to panic, they freak out. They start to cry, they start to scream, they shake, they start to shake. They'll shake for like an hour or so. Because it's setting in. Now it's getting real. Because of the choice they made. Not because they were a bad person, because they made a bad decision. On average in this country, one person will drink and drive over 327 times before they're called a DUI or killed somebody. That's the person who comes home from the bar or the club thinking to themselves, I passed a cop up, I must be a drunk driver. I passed a cop up last week, I must be a drunk driver. I passed a cop up last night, I can drink and drive. I can do it just fine. Drinking is part of American culture. When people go to baseball games or hockey games or football games or basketball games, people drink. Sometimes sporting events will hold certain occasions for that, to try to get people, to try to bait people into coming into their facility and watching their event. Hey, we're going to give away free dollar beers today if you guys come and watch our sporting event. People go, great, I'm going to go and do that, I'm going to be drunk. But they don't think about the greater associations that go along with that responsibility. If I get into my car later on, I can hit somebody, I can kill somebody, I can hurt somebody badly, and I can wind up in prison for the rest of my life. It's a thin, thin line. People say to me, they go, I don't leave my car behind in the club or in the bar at my friend's house because it might be too expensive to leave behind. I'm afraid of it getting stolen. I have an important stereo system in there. I don't want to be taken out. I have rims on my car. If my rims get stolen, I don't want my things get stolen. Well, they don't drive it there. It's part of the responsibility you have to take. If you're worried about your car being taken, then find other means to getting there. Find a friend or call a cab. When you guys turn 21 and you guys are going to go out and have those good times with your friends, you got to take responsibility for your actions. It's nobody else's fault but your own. It would be if you were making those choices. I've had kids in my high school that I've been in actually make those decisions. I've said the same thing as I'm saying to you guys. I've said that every other kid, and some of those kids make bad choices, and I put them in my videos out here on the sides to tell their stories. And sometimes they're out here and they're smiling and they're having a good time, they're not listening, they're talking to their friend, not paying attention to what I'm saying. But now they're not talking to anybody. They're not laughing at anybody. They're paying attention not because now they're in juvenile court until they're 20 or 18 years old and then they're going to be moved and transferred to a jail for the next 5 or 6 years. And if they think that's still funny, then they have no conscience and they have no regret. They don't care. But they do care. They do. On average in this country, one person drink and drive that many times. That's ridiculous. In the state of New York, a first offense for a DUI, you go to jail for 1 year, up to 1 year. You pay anywhere from $500 to $1,000 in fines. $1,000. It's a lot of money. Have your driver's license taken away for 6 months. Second offense, you can spend anywhere up to 4 years in jail. Have to pay anywhere from a $1,000 to $5,000 fine. And then your driver's license taken away for a year. The third offense, you can pay anywhere up to $2,000 to $10,000. Have your driver's license taken away for a year. Second and third offenses are kind of interesting because after the first offense, they put this little thing in your car you can bring into. It's like a breathalyzer. It's called an interlocking ignition device. You guys ever heard of those? People who cannot control their alcohol when they're drinking and driving have to have one of those installed in their car. If you're going to act like a child, we'll treat you like a child. Now, I had a little girl, and I wouldn't never put her in that situation to regret me as her father because I maybe made a bad choice or would have made a bad choice in the future or in the past or whatever. I have too much pride, good pride, for her to put her in that position. To put any one of my family members in that position. Anyone. I wouldn't want her to grow up without me. And I wouldn't want nobody else to grow up without their father or their brother or their sister or whoever. So you know what I do? I take responsibility for my actions. I put my phone away and I go to drive. Because I'm an adult and that is my job, driving a vehicle, a motorized vehicle, is to take responsibility not only for myself but for the people on the road as well. Driving a car is a privilege, it is not a right. It's a privilege to drive a car. It's not a right. On average, when a person looks at a text message, it's about 4.5 seconds. 4.6 seconds to be exact. Look down at a text message in 4.5 seconds, you go about 100 yards, or about 50 to 60 miles an hour. And a lot can happen in 100 yards. You look down at a text message, right? Make a text message, guy on a motorcycle in front of you, you don't see him, boom. And now all of a sudden he's in your windshield, and you killed him, maybe he's killed you. And he didn't kill you. Right? You've killed their family members. And you've killed your family members. Now they have to be associated with a person who maybe killed somebody in an accident. And they get ostracized by the community. They really do. Every time they go out to a shopping center, mall, grocery store, they get figured out and pointed out. Think, oh, there's such and such a son that didn't kill that person in that accident, her daughter, her brother, her father. Every time they come to school, they get ostracized by their peers. They get put down because now it's their fault. Because maybe they drink and drive too. Maybe they learned from their mom and dad. Maybe because their kid drinks and drives, their mom and dad does too. Who knows? So I take responsibility for your guys' actions. Okay, I'm not giving Jesus. I can't be the car until you decide to make a bad choice. Staying in hand, that's my job, I can't. I'm only here for a couple of hours, that's it. You guys have to be responsible. Please pay attention today. These Sims right here are educational programs, they are not video games, okay? And this Sim right here, there's a delayed reaction. In the alcohol Sim, there's a delay in the gas pedal, brake pedal, and steering wheel. There's no natural reaction inside this car whatsoever. Now, if you guys can turn on the lights for me one more time, like the screen. There's going to be a black stripe in the center screen of this one. This is the alcohol Sim. What you see in this screen is what you're going to see in the center screen right here. Okay? There's a black stripe in the center screen. That's the hood of the car. That's added for depth perception. Okay, you're going to make the hood of the car overlap the crosswalk every time a person comes to a stop at a crosswalk at an intersection for whatever reason. Basically, if you cannot make the hood of the car overlap the crosswalk, how can a person do that drunk? When you're sober and you're driving, you can't do that from a sober perspective. How can a person do that from a drunk perspective? That's the whole concept of the program. Stepwise forever here, guys? That's what I'm talking about. It's a good example here of it. Bear with me for a second.